guys get to do any writing on any of the albums?
On the second album, we just did the thank you at the end. Like I produced that, and that's about it.
Okay.
Because at the beginning of the second album, they found out that we didn't have a publishing agreement together. So they was like, I don't know if I want to keep them in the studio by themselves, because they'll own that.
Okay. So, but then were you learning about the business side, the publishing side, and all that stuff at this stuff?
Yes. During that time, like we understood, like when we found out, because they was talking about, man, we were just gonna put y'all in the studio and let y'all produce some records. Like, we have some songs that we own. They was like, nah, we don't own half. I was like, no, y'all won't. We don't have a publishing agreement. So we were standing in Keto office when we had the discussion. So Kojo had to go look at our file and see if we had a publishing agreement. And he was like, no, we don't. I was like, man, we didn't sign it. We just signed a record deal. That was one of those uncomfortable conversations that we had to have with not just the group, with us and the president of the label.
Wow.
But after that, we didn't start producing and writing and stuff until like the third album that we tried to put out independently.
Okay. So after the second album, did you part companies with Motown?
Yes, we did. After we went on tour with Cash Money and Nelly, and the label put together. Then after that tour, and they started talking about a third album, but they couldn't give us no advance. And I was like, well, I can't do it. And the rest of the group was saying we need to have a deal in place before we say no to Motown. And I made a simple statement of, until we able to all stand on our own too, and it's not all on me, I can't do this no more. And I left. I went to Chicago after that.
No, but you wanted the four of you to be part of it, or what was the difference in of opinions?
It was just they wanted to like have a deal in place before we left Motown, so we wouldn't just be out here without a deal. I didn't care about having a deal at that point because I feel like I worked so much, and that was right after my dad's funeral, and I seen something that I didn't like. So when I got the chance to leave, I left. When they was like, well, if you don't want to do it, we'll send y'all the paperwork to let y'all go. I was like, cool.
Oh, this is Motown telling you that we'll let you guys go.
Mm-hmm.
Because you mentioned
I didn't want to do a third album. Y'all, they wasn't gonna pay us for a third album. They were just gonna give us a recording budget, and then you never know what that budget was gonna entail. You don't know what the marketing budget was gonna be with them, because you're not gonna get more money if you're not selling more records. So all the money was gonna go down. So to me, logically, it didn't make sense for me to stay in like a slave deal just to say I got a deal.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's very interesting that you're saying this, because, you know, Prince was one of the biggest ones to first talk about being a slave to Warner Brothers. Then around 2002, Michael Jackson says Sony the same sort of thing, because they went to promote his album and they own it. They, you know, the disagreement. And now we start to see a lot of other people say, you know, Jaheim stopped recording because he's like, look, I own that, I create all this stuff, and you guys own it, and you can. I think even had Ne-Yo talk about. They wanted him to sound like someone else, and they shelved his album and didn't release it.
Yep.
And so that's the balance that you have, especially within R&B and stuff. They don't really do that to rap and hip hop as much, but they do it mainly with R&B. They really try and control.
Mm-hmm. Because, you know, in most of the rapping stuff, most of the rappers, I ain't gonna say all of them, but a lot of them, they write their own stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's like they have to negotiate a publishing deal with them. You see what I'm saying? Like, because you're not just talking to somebody that's just hitting notes. All of these rappers, these are their thoughts. They pen this. Mm-hmm. So they gotta get them a bag. They gotta get them a check. But with R&B people, most of these people just sing a song. You can do a cover song. You see what I'm saying? Like, and not get paid. You can put it out and all that. But you don't own that publishing. All you're gonna do is get shows off of it. So, and man, I say any corporation is about manipulation with its people. So if they can manipulate you with that money, they will.
Yeah.
So just be mindful of the deal that you get into. I tell anybody that. And our deals wasn't bad. They was standard.
Standard, yeah.
Yeah, it was just the people that worked on the projects. Like during that time when we got signed, it was a merger that happened between a lot of record labels at that time.
Yeah,
A lot of.
yeah.
That's how
Universal were
Motown
cutting
ended
back.
up under Universal. Yeah, Polygram went down. It was a
Yeah,
lot of people lost.
MCA, Uptown.
Yeah, all of them. A lot of them people lost their lives. A lot of people lost their, it was people. Like I seen somebody have a bag like this full of pink slips that they was taking to somebody at a lake
Wow.
during this time. Like, and it was a lot going on. So a lot of new people that had to work together. These people didn't like each other, but they had to work together. They had to get along to try to get these projects out.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Then you got a label like Motown. It's been around for years. It's an expectation that came with that label. And when we're new artists, but you got Diana Ross, you got Stevie Wonder, you got Smokey Robinson, Temptations. All these people projects coming out regardless of what you feel. You see what I'm saying? These are the reasons that Motown is still standing. So you can be a new artist if you want to. We'll give you a budget, but if this music ain't good enough, we're finna move this budget over to somebody else.
Mm.
And that's what they would do. Like that's how they took our money. We was out on the road and we found that out.
So when you guys made you decided, look, personal issues. You spoke about the mental health stuff, especially when you started off, and I'm sure it was still going throughout the years, and then the pressures of life and stuff. You took a decision
at this point.
Pardon?
Yeah, I was depressed at this point.
And I think back in those days, a black man doesn't get depressed. Black people don't have mental health issues, so you need to suck it up. I mean, and I'm hopeful that it's a lot better now. But back then, those labels we'll send you to a psychiatrist, we'll get you a counselor. They were like, okay, that you must be making this up. You've got all this opportunity and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta suck this up, man, because we gotta go make this money. That's basically what it was. Like, we care about you, but we got a show tonight.
Yeah,
the show must go on. Like, and I had to become selfish with myself. Like you can't do this to me if I don't let you do it. And when I seen, like, after my pops passed, man, that opened my eyes to a lot. Like, I gotta stop, like, because I could have hurt myself at the time, like the way I was thinking. And I knew I could, and I wanted to, and that's why I tried to reach out to people.
Yeah.
And people be like, "You just wanted sympathy." No, I had dreams, I had visions of me hurting myself, bro. And if I think like that, that means I could do something to myself, and I need to tell somebody.
Yeah.
If y'all not taking me serious, that's not my fault. It's your fault if something happened to me. That's why I'm telling you. But everybody like, you gotta suck it up. So I was like, nah, bro, I'm cool. And that's why, like, I need to remove myself from this before I do something to myself, because this ain't healthy.
Now, listening to this, I as I mentioned, this is when I'm, next thing in the morning, I'm back in work, treating people with depression, anxiety, and stuff. Where did you get that sort of determination and clarity of mind to say, I know where I'm going, I need to take a break and move on? Because most people would still go with the flow, and they'll try and use other things to distract them. So drugs and alcohol and prostitution, or all women, whatever it is, just so that they can continue.
I was indulging. I was indulging in my vices. Don't get me wrong. And that let me know I had a problem, because I was getting more and more into my vices than I was into my craft. See what I'm saying? Like, when I started relying more on that than trying to pick up my guitar and trying to relax, I knew I had a problem. Like, I don't know what made me I think it was my spirit, man. My spirit told me it's time to go. Like, I gotta leave. Like, I can't be around these same people. Either I'm gonna hurt one of them or I'm gonna hurt myself.
Yeah.
I've never been a violent person, but I know inside of myself when something is happening that's not supposed to be happening.
Yeah. And so you make a decision to leave. How did you feel afterwards? After you said, what was the sense afterwards, making that decision?
I was in limbo, but I felt free. Like, it was a freedom that came with it. I was scared, like, because I didn't know what was gonna happen next. But I knew I could go to Chicago. I had a friend out there who offered me some work, so I went out there and did some work. It was like the stuff I did before I got a deal. It was like the same. I went to a rapper house and we'll sit down and write a hook, and I record for him, and we'll finish the song, go back to the room, whatever. It just felt like I was back in high school. Like I didn't feel the pressures of people telling me I can't talk like this, I can't act like this, you're being too hyper, you need to calm down. And I was like, I don't know. It was a freedom though. I felt very free, and then the people around me was encouraging me to be who I was.
Yeah.
Like, did nobody try to suppress me? Like, yeah, man, come on, do that. Like, I was like, yeah, I felt like I was being myself instead of being what people wanted me to be.
Did you get any help with the depression and stuff? Any professional help?
Now I just I learned how to meditate and take time to myself. Like, it might take a couple days, but I need to sit and figure out what's going on inside my spirit. Like, if I'm mad at somebody, I need to take time, like, to figure out why I'm mad at that person. Is this something about me, or did they do something to me? If they did, can it be forgiven? You know what I mean? Like, self-accountability. Like, a lot of us stay in our own misery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because we can, and then we try to drag other people in it to feel sorry for us. And once I realized that a lot of my problems was mine, like, it wasn't my mama's, it wasn't my daddy's, it wasn't my group members. This is my problem. I gotta fix this.
Yeah.
I sit down and, you know, take a stock of my life and see what I've done. What can I do now to rectify a lot of the mistakes I made and fix who I was. Like, I used to go off the handle sometimes just based on what I thought. Like, I didn't sit down and think about it. But now I take time. I take time and make sure I'm not hurting nobody's feelings. Like, because all of that says something about me. So I know now to think before I speak, think before I act.
So
not being a dick.
Yeah.